On this episode of the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino, Chris Plank joins us to talk some transfer portal, OU softball, and some NFL draft. Then we finish up with our winners and losers of the week. Please download and subscribe to the podcast. Rate it 5 stars and write us a good review. Follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Just search Oklahoma Breakdown on any of those, and you'll find us. All right. Our man Michael Hosty will kick this thing off. It's time for the Oklahoma Breakdown. It's a beautiful Wednesday, April 23rd, and you're listening to the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's #1 casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack, blackjack match roulette, and Teddy's favorite, craps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotions and entertainment options, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, good times, great rewards, and it is our pleasure to be joined by the hardest working man in all of radio. Christopher Plank is in the house. Birthday boy, 50.
50.
5-0.
I know. As we tape this, we are a mere 2 hours away from my birthday. Boys, I was born 5 minutes after midnight. So at least that's what my mom says.
How
So
about that?
that means I kind of get that whole day, right? So you're leading up to it. And even though it's like, all right, you were born at 12:05 a.m., I get the whole day of the 23rd to celebrate. So game on, and I couldn't think of a better way to start it than hanging out with you guys on the breakdown. Let's go.
Hey, you're looking excellent for 50, Plank.
Thanks, Ted.
Looking
Hey,
excellent.
thanks, man. I appreciate it. My whole family is sick. So, Gabe, you know this because I do all my radio stuff from my garage. Literally, I'm in a detached garage. And I've been trying, I was like, please let the Thunder game get in over earlier. I just want to get out to the garage and get away from these sick people so I can come out here and just be somewhat healthy. I mean, buddy, we had, pardon this graphic, we had projectile of vomiting last night from my 10-year-old
Yes.
at like 11 p.m. and I'm up cleaning carpet. She didn't even make it close to the bathroom.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
On
it
the
was
carpet?
everywhere, bro. Everywhere, man. It was crazy. And then
Plank,
my
this
dogs
this
like trying to lick it up. It's terrible. It was terrible.
this is whenever you typically go out to the studio and do a 72-hour bender of radio,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
Just
And
check
today was
out.
all podcast.
Where do we want to start, boys? Portal?
Portal.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Plank, I just came from the Thunder game. We got a defensive tackle. Tell me about him.
All right. So
I know you have all the information already on him. Tell me about this guy.
I was looking up number one, the most important thing for someone like Gabe, who had your name mispronounced a lot, right, when you were playing. Ted,
Absolutely.
I don't know if you had to deal with that too much. I don't know if you got a lot of Lehmans back in the day. But here is what the pronunciation guide from Utah State goes with. C-O la u. I'm sorry, I've already screwed it up. C-O la C-O la is his first name. C-O la. And then Lolo Heya. So the last name is very, I think, easy on that front, right?
I thought
Lolo.
his name was Ricky.
We're gonna go with Ricky from here on out. So
That's what someone sent me.
yeah.
I'll,
Ricky.
I'll watch his tape tonight in bed. Tell me about him, Plank. What are we
Redshirt?
working
Yeah,
with here?
it's like Sia Lula. Just call me Ricky.
Ricky, just go with Ricky, man, and
Just
I'll
go
be
with
good with it. I'm good. That's the best way to look at it. Big kid, 6'3", 305. Started at Oklahoma State, then he transferred last year with Nate Dreiling at Utah State. So he was with Coach Dreiling last year. Played in 8 games, 10 tackles, 6 solo, 1 tackle for loss. According to the bio, 3 tackles at Boise State. So against pretty high-profile opponent. Redshirted in 2023 when he played at Oklahoma State. So was a 3-star recruit out of Euless, Texas. So, and again, guys, it's kind of interesting because we didn't know what that was going to look like after the whole David Stone situation this last weekend, and it's great to see David was back. I emceed the award show they did. Gabe, you did it a couple years ago. I think it was one of the last ones they did, right?
That was a one and done invite for your boy with some of the jokes I made.
It was.
Yes.
I don't think it had
Made a
anything
few
to
too
do
many
with
people
you.
uncomfortable, apparently.
I don't think it had anything to do with you. I think they stopped doing it. I think COVID shut it down. And so they hadn't done it for a couple of years. So I got to do it, and the whole football team was there. And David Stone was there. So it was good to see him there. But you still probably feel like you need a little bit more depth in that defensive line. And so I feel like this might be a guy that can help him out. So what's next, Ted? What's next in the portal that they're going after, you think?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it seems that they're sniffing around at tight end, which makes sense.
Mhm.
I the wide receiver spot felt like they were going to try and maybe find an extra wide receiver. I don't know if the good news on Giovanni Gibson. I guess I mean, there is no good news when a guy's injured like that, but the thought that maybe he's going to be back for early in the season, maybe they held off on that. I honestly, I don't know what's next.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping that there's a tight end out there that just, is like, hey, I'm going to be an NFL first, second round pick next year. I need to get in the portal and come play at Oklahoma.
Right.
That'd be
Because,
nice.
you guys had Nagy on a couple weeks ago. Great interview, by the way. That was awesome. And I know that I think he went back home this week. I think that they were getting some stuff settled as they still build the staff out. And I know for a fact they wanted to find an NFL type tight end. So, fingers crossed on that front. Texas goes out and gets the kid out of Cal that a lot of people thought was going to go to Indiana. But there's, slim pickings in the portal, I guess. It's only a 10-day window, right? So unless you're a graduate student, that bad boy's about to close. But you guys have lived it, Gabe. The in the weed stuff has been amazing. But I don't know how you can't just be over the moon excited of what Oklahoma's done so far in the portal. And then you add another potential depth piece here tonight in the kid from Utah State. So I feel like it's been really fun, man. It's been a fun portal year to cover.
It,
What do
it's Go
you
ahead,
go,
Gabe.
Ted?
Well, I was going to ask, what do you make of the uh, Jadyn Ott portal pickup? I mean, you look back at some of the production he had at Cal, and he can go now.
Well, you know me, dude. I'm a draft nerd. And if you were to rewind 365 days, when people were doing things like projecting the draft a year away, everyone was talking about Jadyn Ott being a guy that could be the top running back taken. And that shows you how highly he was thought of after, the big season he had in 2023. And, you look at this running back class, not to get ahead of the game here a little bit talking draft, but they're considering this one of the best and deepest running back classes we've ever had. And Jadyn Ott was in a position after 2024 or 2023 in that season to where people thought, oh my gosh, he's going to be the top running back. No one knew who Ashton Genty really was yet. NFL guys did, but I think that kind of shows you how high profile he truly is. And I don't know, man. I like having a guy that's being talked about being on an NFL roster as a running back. And listen, that's no offense to any of the guys in that room, but Jay Nott's going to be a guy that if he stays healthy, he's going to play in the league. And Gabe, if he doesn't have that high ankle sprain, he probably has another big year when he was healthy. And I think he was really only truly 100% healthy for like one or two games. You could tell, right? He was a different guy. But I just love the fact that we have him. And I have that stupid OTTTOGO song stuck in my head that some Cal fan made nonstop. I sent that to Gabe today. I can't stop listening to it. It's incredible. But Ted, you said it a couple weeks ago, man, on the Rush. You said on your radio show that kind of slyly, he's like, I have a feeling there'll be a running back in there. And lo and behold, whenever it came to getting the running back in the portal, they got the best one.
We may or may not have had some inside information there.
I said there ought to be a top running back come available in the portal.
Another big addition playing Jake Maikkula. What do you think? What have you seen from the Stanford transfer?
Well, number one, kudos to you for getting the pronunciation guide out there, Gabe. Muy importante and making sure you get a name like that.
Maikkula.
Maikkula. Not Malakala or Makala. No, Maikkula. Hey, you okay? I'm going to go back. I'm obviously a P1. I'm a hopeless addict to this podcast. And you had made a great point, Gabe. If we're going towards an NFL mindset and mantra with college football, right? What do NFL offensive lines have? They have a guy that can play guard, right guard, center. I mean, they can play all of those interior positions. I don't know if Michael's a guy that you can swing outside or not. It seems not, unless it's dire needs, but that's what he brings. And he's played all the positions, right? He just kind of jumped to center last year. So it seems as if they focused on three dudes that they really wanted in the portal. They really, really wanted to get the quarterback position right, and they got that right. They really wanted to get running back and get a playmaker there, and they got that taken care of. And they really wanted to bolster up the depth on the defensive line, and they've done that. I mean, I don't know how much happier you could be right now with what they've done in the portal, both, pre whenever Jim Nagy got here and bringing in John Mateer, and then post in going out and getting, I think, two of the biggest names and at least the biggest targets for any team in this spring portal window.
I mean, it's honestly been impressive. You think about like just off the top of your head, uh, Kendall Daniels, Mateer, Ott, Maikkula, Simmons, Giovanni Gibson.
Heck yeah.
You start to pile up a bunch of guys that you expect to either be starters or heavy contributors. So I agree, it's gone really well. Now, you mentioned you were at the award show. David Stone was there. We touched on it briefly. What do you make of that entire situation when he first jumped in the portal, the next couple of days, and then the announcement that ultimately he's going to stay at Oklahoma?
I hope everyone learned a lesson about, not jumping to a lot of conclusions. I'm pretty sure that from Friday. Now, did this break during your show or was it after?
Right after we were done.
Oh my gosh. I mean, literally right after you jumped off the air. It was pretty wild because I lived it truly as a fan because it happened on Friday and it was over on Sunday. And we didn't have a softball game on Saturday because we played a doubleheader on Sunday. And then by Friday night, when our game was over, is when it kind of broke and everything took place. So I truly got to live it as a fan. And to see the way some people acted and reacted, it's just, I get it. It was frustrating, especially with all the rumors and innuendos that were out there. You didn't really know what was going on. Was he being poached? Was he getting bad advice? Was he, being taken advantage of? And all these things at the core of it, it seemed like he really wanted to be at Oklahoma. I think what's most shocking about it is the fact that he had been one of the hits of camp and he was made available to the media. And he talked about how things had gone from him and eliminating outside distractions. But I mean, I can't even imagine, man. I can't even imagine whenever, you're making that kind of money at that age and then how, everyone is probably counting on you, to help float the boat and, make sure the ends are meeting. And that's a lot of responsibility on an 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old young man. So I'm really glad he's back. I hope everyone's learned a lesson about, maybe holding off before you tweet and start crushing someone because you never really know what they're going through. You never do. Gabe, you put it best on Twitter, man. You never know in these instances what someone might be dealing with.
Also, make plays, get paid.
Make plays. Now go make plays. Go make plays, get paid.
And everything will fall into place. But,
Yep.
Plank, like you mentioned, you feel much better about the defensive tackle group as a whole with
Right.
Stone coming back because
Yeah.
he does have such a high ceiling, man.
You're watching, we're going to watch an NFL draft starting on Thursday night into Friday and then Saturday and Sunday. And we're probably not going to have a defensive tackle. We're not going to have a defensive tackle taken from Oklahoma. And, you want to be watching these NFL drafts where on that first day, not second, third round. Listen, I'm not dogging on, but on that first day, you'd love to see one or two of your defensive tackles go in the draft. That's what Brent Venables had when he was here at Oklahoma and what he had at Clemson. And there's still guys from that Clemson team that are starring in the NFL right now. So I say all that, the potential. Now we haven't seen it yet, right? I'm not trying to get over my skis here, but the potential of a David Stone is one of those guys that in 2-3 years from now, we might be talking about in this space of, boy, Dave Stone's got to have a draft party because he's going to be taken. And it's just that's the kind of ceiling that this guy has. So go make plays, put yourself in position to where you can make even more money than you could ever imagine. And we'll all be happier and better for it. You will be because you'll be making more money and you'll be making plays. Oh, you fans will be over the moon because they'll be winning games because you're wreaking havoc. It's just it's going to be real interesting to see how he develops. And then, I mean, Jane Jackson coming back off the injury. You've got some young guys. Marcus Strong has, Tad, I heard you talking about him a while back. It's just there's a lot of potential in that room. I'm excited to see how it all develops and comes. Oh, Dominic Williams, G Baby. I mean, there's just a lot of dudes in that room. And all of them we talk about as guys that could end up playing in the NFL. David Stone is one of those guys that when you talk about him with his potential, you think, wow, that guy could be like a day one pick in the NFL. So I'm excited to see how he continues to develop.
Well, I mean, I guess whenever we look at it right now, maybe only a spot or two left for them to go out and explore for the transfer portal. And
are they going to do anything at corner?
I don't know. I mean, I think the rest of the positions that are left, I honestly feel like it's only on the case that you feel like you have someone that can help you right away.
Right.
I would think tight end, like maybe a depth guy at tight end because you lost one in Mitchell. So maybe they add a tight end just numbers wise. But, outside of that, I kind of feel like it's going to be if the right player comes available, but who knows?
One of the guys I saw this was Monday night when we had this event was Gentry Williams. He was there at the Sooner Awards show, and he looked great. I mean, and I know that he wasn't doing anything in spring, right? They were holding him out again, or was he doing some drills? I think they were holding him out, but
Yeah.
he looked good. He was in good spirits, and if that guy is back and if he's healthy, then that does alleviate that issue. But I don't know, maybe they're really excited about those young guys too in that room, right? Because there's some types, and again, I haven't seen them. I didn't get to go out to practice, but you just look at you look at the numbers and you look at the heights and weights and you look at what they produce in the past. You're like, okay, I could see that guy being a difference maker. And I keep waiting for Jacoby Johnson to take that next step. Gabe, last year, Jay Valai said something amazing about Jacoby Johnson to us, and he said when he starts believing in himself like we believe in him, he's going to take that next step. So maybe that's a guy that's ready for another step too. Because I thought like cornerback was a slam dunk position that they were going to go get. I thought in my mind when I looked at the depth chart, I thought, all right, they got to go get another guy. But they haven't, as we tape this, and it doesn't look like they're going to. And there's not some massive name out there right now. So it'll be real interesting to see what kind of that checklist looks like for Jim Nagy and Brent Venables going forward.
I think they're looking for a kicker.
And a kicker.
But I don't know anything about kicking. I know that the guy that they were after ended up taking a big bag from Texas.
Okay. Would you welcome Burt Auburn?
Yes, if he makes kicks, I don't care that he went to Texas. Just make kicks, man, and we're good. I don't care if your name's Burt. I don't care if you used to be a Longhorn. Just make kicks, and we're all good, baby.
And before anyone starts yelling at me in the YouTube comments, remember, it would be an SEC to SEC school, but he's a grad transfer. So the rules don't apply to those grad transfers. But I mean, I don't know if he's even in the mix. It was just one of those names when he popped in the portal. There were two very glaring missed kicks that he had last year against Arizona State, right? But the dude's been pretty consistent in his career. He was the all-time leading scorer at the University of Texas. So, I mean, that's something. But yeah, I'm with you. And, I think they've got good young kickers, or at least, a handful of guys that have that potential. But who knows, right? Who knows?
We'll get you back to the interview. But first, hitting the highway, remember to stop at Love's Travel Stops. You can't miss the heart of the highway. And with the Love's app, you can also save big. How big? 10 or 15 cents big. Save 10 cents per gallon on gas and 15 cents per gallon on auto diesel. Save with the Love's app today and be welcomed by clean places and friendly faces. Certain conditions may apply. See loves.com for details.
You listen to this podcast to get insight from the guys who played the game. Why don't you take that same approach when it comes to buying your beef? When you order from Didier Ranch, you are getting your beef directly from the people who raise it. A rancher knows what it takes to have premium quality beef. Didier Ranch has done it for over 100 years right here in Oklahoma. From delicious 21-day dry-aged ribeyes to savory steak burgers, there is no better place to get your beef. Get your beef from the guys who've done it and use code Oklahoma15 for 15% off on DidierRanch.com. Didier Ranch, tradition tastes better.
And we are brought to you by Simple Modern, an Oklahoma-owned company and the official drinkware partner of the OU Sooners. Spring is here, which means busy weekends filled with baseball, soccer, and outdoor fun. Plus, Mother's Day is right around the corner. The new Getaway bag is perfect for moms this spring. Its durable rubber sides can handle muddy cleats and gear, and you can easily rinse it clean. And it works just as great for a road trip car tote or as a beach bag for summer travel. It's as versatile as all the amazing women in your life. Plus, with 10% of all Simple Modern profits going to charity, many right here in Oklahoma, you're also helping Oklahomans everywhere. Simple Modern, good everywhere. All right, back to the interview.
Yeah.
Ted, I want to hear your kicking analysis. Come on.
He's so done with our kicking.
Come on.
Talk.
No, I'm like you. I don't care. Like the thing to me is like Michigan, I expect to be a close game.
Right.
We've got the Auburn home SEC opener, and then we play Kent State. And then not that those games can't be close before that, but then you play Texas. And then from the Texas game to the end of the season, I expect all of those games to probably be one-score games.
Yeah.
And kicker is absolutely going to matter. You just can't afford to be inconsistent at kicker. Outside of 50 yards, I mean, the percentages are going to drop dramatically in college. We understand that. But, 45 and in, you need to be fairly automatic.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that since we're on the portal and, as we're sitting here, I've just kind of been, scrolling through a couple of things. There is another playmaker that Oklahoma has offered in Jermichael Carter. So, I mean, you've got the kid from BYU now, and you got Jermichael Carter. And Carter, by the way, out of McNeese State, 6'4", 190, 37 catches last year for 537 yards and 3 touchdowns. I think one thing we're seeing is that Oklahoma is, at the very least, guys, being very aggressive in trying to go out and get, another playmaking wide receiver in that room. So, but I'm with you. Kicker is definitely got to be one that will be interesting to see how that plays out over the next few weeks.
Let's shift gears here, Plankster.
Let's do it.
The best way to describe you when it comes to the NFL draft is you are an absolute NFL draft sicko.
That's true.
That's a disgusting amount of draft content consumed.
Way too much.
Stutsman, Bowman, Downs. Let's start with Stutsman. Like, what do you think? Where do you think Stutsman is going? Just round wise. Do you think he's going to be a second rounder?
I think he's got a chance. The linebacker position is not, and I don't know if it's how defenses are using these guys or if it's just not a good linebacker draft, right? And there may be one linebacker go in the first round of this draft because even the Walker, Jalen Walker out of Georgia is viewed more as an edge, so there might be one backer. I think that he's right there in that mix of guys that are going to be a day 2 pick, and it's a matter, are they bottom of the second or middle of the third? And I meant to, I had reached out to try to get, he's been on some visits, and I think that's a good deal because, every team only gets 30 visits. So, when you're invited, I think that's a big deal. Others say, oh, they're just, kind of hashing things out. We can go back to the process and question whether or not Danny should have gone to the Senior Bowl or not, but he aced his test whenever he went to the combine. And selfishly, I think there's a good chance that he could end up in a place like Vegas. They've got a big hole at linebacker right now. They just signed Devin White, who's probably had his better days behind him. I've seen Danny projected to the Cowboys quite a bit, as a matter of fact. I
He
think
told me he had a really good meeting with them and really got along well. He felt that that was a possibility, and also mentioned the Saints.
yeah, those I heard a lot of good things about what Dallas saw in him, and believe it, and Bowman too. So maybe you have both your guys that are going not too terribly far from home. But I don't know, Ted, I top 100, so that would be into the middle of the third round. I think that would be fair for Danny right about now. I don't think he's going to dip out of the third. But I would say late second, early to mid third. Sound about right to you from what you've been hearing too?
I think so. I mean, I just talking with him and like as he's talked to his agent, like they feel pretty good that he's going to go in the second. So, um, whenever I look at some of the other backers and how he performed, in the drills and how he tested and like how he looks on film and what the conversation with the coaching staff are going to be. I mean, what are the red flags? He's played a ton of football. He's reliable. He can run well. He can tackle well. He's a good blitzer. I mean, I
He's raffling off shoes
he's rattling off
For what,
shoes.
Oklahoma?
for One Oklahoma to support his alma mater's NIL endeavors. People, go to oneoklahoma.com and buy a raffle ticket for Stutsman's Jordans. They're pretty sweet, and he signed them. Come on.
Yeah.
What are we
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah,
Support the program.
but I honestly think he's going to go in the second round. If he slips out of the second, I think it's early third.
Yeah.
I mean, but what do I know? I'm just kind of trying to read the tea leaves a little bit.
They really I was trying to pull it up here, but the guy who is interesting in that linebacker class is the oh gosh, Colin Schleberger, I think is how you say his name. And there was this big buzz that he was going to go in the first round. And Adam, speaking of consuming content, I was finishing up Adam Schefter's kind of article before we got going, and he said that he thought that Colin could end up in the middle of the second round. And I kind of that worries me a little bit if he starts to dip some, because I think that when he goes, Stutzman's probably going to go pretty quickly thereafter, because teams that have a linebacker need might be waiting to see, all right, if I can't get him, maybe I can get Stutzman here. So I think that'd be good for Danny if he went earlier, because I think a lot of people have him just ahead of Danny Stutsman in their draft boards.
What do you think about Bowman?
I think that there is a team that has a desperate safety need in Jacksonville that has 2 third-round picks that is definitely worth keeping an eye on. I think Jacksonville, the first athletic mock draft that Sean Reed, their beat writer, did, had Billy Bowman going in the third round to the Raiders, who have a desperate safety need. Yeah, I'm getting all my guys to the Raiders. This sounds familiar.
All
But
the Sooners to the
go
Raiders.
go to the Raiders, right? We haven't had one consistently there in a while. But I think what's going to be interesting about Billy is if people see him as a guy that can return kicks at the next level. Because I mean, I don't know, and I don't know if there's been a lot of buzz around him for that. But I know that you start looking at need. I think Billy helped himself out coming back. I really do. You go back to our conversations with Brandon and the defensive secondary. They felt like he graded out and had his best year, and I think teams see that. Again, it's a unique need, right? Because you don't see. I don't know if there's going to be, but maybe one safety going the first round of the draft this year, the kid out of Georgia. So I would say keep an eye on Jacksonville. I think very similar position too. Look at teams that have multiple third round picks. I think San Francisco would be interesting too. You start thinking about those teams that have those compensatory picks near the end of the third round, maybe even a Minnesota. So I think that he's going to be a guy that's probably going to go pretty close to where Danny Stutsman goes in the draft as well. And I think the goal for everyone is you want to be a day 2 pick now, but I think you want to be in that top 100. So we'll see how it plays out. But I think Billy Bowman's got a chance to go mid third round.
I totally agree. He's one of those guys that Senior Bowl, I mean, people were buzzing about the way that he played performed really well at the combine, tested really well. Same thing when you call his coaching staff, like they're going to say the guy's going to play 10 years in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's going to wish they had a guy like him in their locker room. And I think because he doesn't check the boxes for height and weight and arm length and all those things, that I think there's a bunch of teams that feel like that's their back pocket pick, that they're going to jump up and try and make a move on him a little bit earlier, because he's just, the position versatility that he has is excellent. So I'm with you. The one that I'm really not sure on is Downs. Now, missed the Senior Bowl because of, or maybe he was in the going to the other one, not the
He went East West Shrine and he got sick.
Right.
And he didn't get to participate in anything.
But he performed really well at the combine. He
Yeah.
weighed in big. He was strong. He ran incredibly well. But I don't know, because he's not like he's not your edge like you think of in the NFL. He's not going to be a stand-up outside pass rushing specialist. So I just don't know what the appetite is for him. And I mean, I assume if he gets drafted late round, right?
Yeah. It's kind of fun. By the way, I said Schlesinger is the linebacker out of UCLA, by the way, that Danny's kind of in that same area. My bad. On the NFL, on the ESPN.com, they did a 7-round mock draft, which again, Gabe, only a sicko like me is going through every pick, questioning why they're putting in there. 7-round. I mean, how many picks do you think you get right in a 7-round mock draft? Like, what, maybe one outside of the first round? They had Ethan Downs as Mr. Irrelevant going to the Kansas City Chiefs, which was just
hell of a place to go.
Right, exactly. And
he would not be a horrible backup for Karlaftis.
I was just going to say. And so I saw that, and the placing of it is Mr. Irrelevant. You're kind of like, but then you look at the fit and you think, wow, that's a really, really good fit.
Buddy, let me tell you, being Mr. Irrelevant would be the best feeling ever as compared to going undrafted. Just let me tell you, bud.
I understand. I'm sorry. I'll be interested, guys, to see what happens if Trace Ford can pull a Jordan Evans. I remember Jordan Evans didn't go to the combine, wasn't invited, and then went and balled out at his pro day. Trace Ford did the same, but I don't know. You guys had talked about him a couple weeks ago after the combine. I don't know what that'll look like for him. But I guess I bring up Trace Ford to kind of just say we're looking at 3 guys, and hopefully 4 that, have a really good shot at getting their name called. 2 for certain, right? And Danny and Billy, and then we'll kind of see how things stack up with Ethan Downs. But kind of like what you were saying with Billy, Tad, I mean, he's the kind of guy that Ethan is that, you want to have on your team. He's got great leadership characteristics, and he's shown it, right? I think he grew a lot as a leader and became a really good football player in the middle of that. So I hope he hears his name called on day 3, probably like 6th or 7th round.
I hope so. Now, kind of covered the OU guys when it comes to the draft. What going into the draft, what's like the most exciting storyline for you, Plank?
Quarterbacks, as they are every single year. And I'm a crazy person that thinks that Shedeur Sanders is still going to go 3 to the Giants. And I don't think he's out of the mix at 2 to the Browns either. I think that nobody knows. And that's kind of the wild thing. Pete Schrager, who went from the NFL Network, he's on ESPN now. He drops his mock draft, and it's really insightful. I was listening to him, and he's like, I don't know if I've ever been more confused by what teams are throwing out there than I have been this week, because like lying season has taken on a whole new look. So I think the quarterbacks, and then in that, how many go in the first round, right? We've only had, let me see, grab my notebook here. We've only had like 3 or 4 teams trade back into the first round to get a quarterback in the last 15 years. And there's all this talk of, maybe someone will trade back into the first round to get a quarterback. Well, that doesn't happen that much. The last time it happened was 2018. Now it worked. It was Lamar Jackson. The time before that, it was 2014 when the Vikings came back in to get Teddy Bridgewater. And then the time before that was Tim Tebow, when the Broncos traded back into the first round to get Tebow in 2010. But yet that seems to be kind of this building feeling that, all right, let's use the Browns, right? The Browns are sitting at 2. If they pass on a quarterback at 2 and they take Travis Hunter, well, they're sitting there at 33, right? And they've got the first pick of the second round. Well, who's to say that, they might call Denver and say, hey, man, we'll give you our second round pick, our third round pick, and we move back into the first round and try to get a Jackson Dart, a Jalen Milroe. Or, if Shedeur Sanders falls a little bit, then maybe he might be the guy in play. I say all that to basically point out I have no idea how many quarterbacks are going to go in the first round. I think there could be as many as 4. I think there could be as few as 2. And I'll tell you what, the idea that Mike Tomlin is enamored with Shedeur Sanders is wild to me. It's just wild. Not in a bad way, but just in a, okay, that would make sense based on the quarterback room that the Steelers have right now. Do you know off the top of your head who the quarterback room is for the Steelers right now?
I know exactly who it is. Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson.
That's right. That's right. That's all they have in their quarterback room right now. The Browns are a step ahead of them, I think, because they did bring in Joe Flacco, but their quarterbacks include Kenny Pickett is in that room right now. But then Kenny Pickett's a cautionary tale, right? Because that was 2022. He was the only quarterback that went.
Let me ask you this. What do you make of the rumor going around right now about the trade of Dak Prescott to the Steelers, and there's a couple other moving pieces, and Dallas Cowboys move up to take Shedeur Sanders?
I would love it just because Dallas has been so boring. They think about it, right? I mean, Dallas has been pretty boring recently. They hired Brian Schottenheimer, who again might be great, but the head coach basically, or the GM owner, comes out and is like, the high praise is he used to be an assistant, now he's head coach. So, thanks, all right, that's great. Thanks, Jerry.
It's a risky hire, I think is what he said.
Right. Ted, I think something big is going down. I don't know what. I don't know if it involves that. I don't know if it's the Niners. I don't know if it's someone moving up to 2. I don't know what it is, but I've had this feeling since last week. It's too quiet. It's too quiet. And I love this quarterback class. Everyone hates it. I think it's got a chance to have 3 or 4, good starting quarterbacks in this class, right? Maybe even a 5th. And we haven't even talked about suddenly the greatest quarterback that everyone's seen in Tyler Shuck. Holy smokes, man. Hearing everyone talk about Tyler Shuck, it makes me wish that, Texas Tech had a quarterback like him, or Louisville. I mean, it's amazing how people are just fawning over him. But Dylan Gabriel, was a guy that'll be interesting. A lot of people have him earmarked to Miami. But to the point, the rumors, I'm here for it because it's been low key. It's been quiet. And I don't know if there's really that super splashy guy in the first round for anyone. So let's get crazy, right? Let's get a deal here. Let's have a trade that happens, and let's get something wild in Dallas with a guy like Shedeur Sanders. I'm here for it.
Okay, I want your prediction. Typically, there's a guy that falls,
right?
That goes lower than a lot of the mocks have him. Who's that guy going to be, Plank?
Tetairoa McMillan. I think it's going to be Tetairoa McMillan. I think that, in fact, I mean, there's a part of me that thinks he might end up being Travis Hunter is going to be the first wide receiver taken. But I don't know, man. I think McMillan's going to dip a little bit. And I think there might only be, if you don't include Travis Hunter, I think there might only be maybe 2 wide receivers taken in the first round. And if this deal happens that Ted's talking about, I don't see a lot of people fawning over that wide receiver position. In fact, people are going crazy for the tight end, right? Tyler Warren, kid out of Penn State, more than anyone else. So I think he's going to go lower than people expect. And on the flip side, buddy, I think Ashton Genty's going in the top 5. I think the Jaguars are going to take Ashton Genty at 5 and ruin all my fun I've had with him being a Vegas Raider for a long time. So I think, and there'll be some offensive linemen, Josh Simmons, that's the kid out of Ohio State, right? That got hurt last year. He's a fascinating case study because he'd probably be the top offensive lineman in this draft. And he got hurt towards ACL last year. So we don't know. I think Kelvin Banks is going to be interesting. The NFL teams seem to be really kind of split on him. but he's one of the 3 or 4 offensive tackles that are going to go in the first round of this draft. So, once Campbell goes, and then once the kid Mimbu goes out of Missouri, then you'll
Which one? Who's going first? Who do you think's off the board first to tackle?
I think the Raiders are going to take Mimbu at 6. So
if Genty's not there.
yeah, well, I think they're going to take him regardless. I think that the John Spytek, their general manager, has always been big on, kind of cementing the tackles, and they're unknown right there. I still think it's Will Campbell. I know people are freaking out about his arms. What's his length and
Do
wingspan.
not give a damn.
I don't give a damn. He can
How
ball.
long that guy's arms are. I watched the tape. The guy can play.
He can play. So
That's all that matters.
I think New England's going to snatch him up, but boy, I don't remember Mimbu being all that. I guess I must have kind of just been. I think the whole night you were making fun of me because I always tried to make everything anti-Caden Green, so that might have been part of my problem during that game. I think I tried to get Caden Green kicked out of the game like 3 or 4 times with my sideline reports. But in all seriousness, I think Campbell's going to be the first offensive tackle off the board. I think Mimbu's going to be second, and then. Probably, we'll see what the Saints do. They're kind of a wild card with Carr's shoulder injury. I think offensive tackle there. Mason Graham's another guy that's going to be interesting to see. Speaking of short arms, right? It'll be interesting to see what happens with him because some people think he was a one-game wonder. And I think along with McMillan, he could be a guy that might slide a little bit. So it's going to be real interesting to see how that plays out. But I love Campbell. I love Mimbu. I think it's going to be top-heavy at the tackle position on Thursday night.
We'll get you back to the interview, but first.
Schwab Meat has been smoking the highest quality meats, hot dogs, and sausages in OKC since 1912. Go to schwabmeat.com to order any of Schwab's outstanding products and use promo code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab dogs are iconic. I like to keep it simple. Just a bun, dog, mustard, ketchup. Also, the jalapeno cheddar smoked sausage is ridiculous. SchwabMeat.com, code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab Meat, the official hot dog of game days.
Oklahoma's favorite pub, Pub W, is a modern American pub offering a great new take on classic drinks and cuisine. They offer an extensive beer and specialty drink selection with something for everyone, and that's exactly why Pub W was voted best happy hour. And we all love a delicious brunch. Pub W brunch is served Saturdays and Sundays until 2 p.m. with some of the most delicious brunch offerings you'll find anywhere. Now open in Yukon, Oklahoma. Visit one of their 6 Oklahoma locations. Visit pubdub.com for locations and menus.
Insurica's launched a new digital agency introducing Insurica Direct. Whether you're in Oklahoma or anywhere across the U.S., they've got you covered. From small business insurance and health insurance for your employees to insurance for individuals like home, auto, and even Medicare supplements. Insurica Direct's got it all. Start your journey today at insuricadirect.com. Remember, at Insurica, we specialize in you.
All right, back to the interview.
This is the last draft question I have. 10 years from now, when we're looking back at this draft, and maybe it's a first rounder, maybe it's a second rounder, whatever. Who's like the Hall of Fame player out of this group? Maybe it's as easy as saying one of the first quarterback off the board, whoever that may be. Maybe it's an edge guy. Like, who do you look at to say, like, this is like, maybe he doesn't fit perfectly in all of the draft boxes, but whenever he plays in the NFL, this guy's going to be legit.
I love Genty. I do. But I would also say that I would probably just go with a low-hanging fruit answer, dude. And I think like a Travis Hunter. I really do. Now, I don't know how long he's going to be able to do both, right? I think at some point, we'll see if he can do both. Maybe it'll be more like Dion because I think he's a much better corner. Well, this is where it gets crazy. Who cares what I think? But the NFL guys are saying that if he just focused on wide receiver, he could be like Justin Jefferson. Pretty amazing comp, right? And then there's others that say if he just focuses on corner, like Mike Haynes type ability. It's an old school reference. Sorry to the youngsters. But I like him a lot. And this is going to be a weird one, but I'm kind of I'm kind of drunk for Quinshon Judkins a little bit. This is a deep running back draft. And, both of the Ohio State running backs, I think, have a chance to be really good and be off the board by the second round. How about this? How about this, Ted? I think when we look back in like 84, 83 was the draft for the quarterbacks. I think this will be one of the drafts that we look back at, and there's 4 or 5 running backs that end up being elite for a really long time. I think that would be to me the hallmark, the calling card of this
I'll
draft.
take it. I like it.
Eyes on the running backs.
Love them. Love them. All of them. Well, I shouldn't say that. Ollie Gordon, we'll see what happens with him later. His draft stock is interesting, right? Because had he come out last year, it probably would have helped him out quite a bit.
Yeah.
But he's out this year and he's kind of lost in the middle. But Gabe, call me crazy. I think he's got a chance to be a really good NFL running back.
We'll see. I mean, it was very, very productive.
Yeah.
He should have came out last year.
Yeah. Yeah. Lesson
At
learned.
running back, and I said it on here. Hey, if you can go and you had that type of season like he had,
Go.
it was very admirable. He came back. It was great for Oklahoma State. A running back, man, if you can go and you're going to get picked high, you go.
Go.
You want to talk some softball?
Oh man, let's go.
We have hand up. We have not given the softball team enough attention lately. That is getting corrected right now. I got a very strongly worded DM about it to the podcast Twitter, Ted.
Oh no.
Ooh, okay,
Yeah, guy
like
was not pleased that we talk so much NBA and don't talk.
Hey, you should have told him don't lose 5 games, and then we'll be
39-5, Plank. What's going on with this program? What's wrong? Hey, come in all seriousness, coming off the sweep of Mississippi State, right? Top 15 team. Just how's the squad looking, Plank? What do you think?
It's a whole new world, man. And it's been interesting. I've been with them every step of the way, and I feel like it's been a unique trip. Just first week of the year, I traveled with them. I flew with them. I rode the bus to games with them. We were in LA, so we were all together. And then, we were home for a lot, right? They went to Waco, and then for like 22 straight games, they were home. We didn't travel a lot. And then I drove myself to Arkansas, I drove myself to Missouri. So I was a little bit detached. I say all that to lay out that I flew with them, bussed with them, did everything with them on the trip to Alabama. And it's wild to see how much they've grown, and how much they've come together in that very, I say short amount of time, but it's, it's 3 months. It's flown by to me. It's a good team. It's a good team. It's in a different world in the SEC. As we're sitting here tonight, top 8 national seeds right now, 6 of them are SEC teams. I mean, that's insane. And Oklahoma, I think, is going to end up by the end of the season playing all but one of them. The SEC really did not do us any favors in any of our sports schedulings this year. I mean, it's unbelievable how challenging it's been in baseball, how challenging it was in basketball and football, and now, of course, in softball. But they, in just a general thought on the team, they're learning. I know some will get mad and say, what do you mean? We're in late April. They shouldn't be learning. It's all new, guys. Even the transfers that they brought in, they're new and they're still learning about the championship mindset and being an Oklahoma Sooner and guys yelling at Gabe and his DM because they're not talking enough about softball. I'm willing to bet there's no other podcast that has that issue and that covers sports anywhere, right? That's the Oklahoma program. That's the passion that's behind it. So you're starting to see some things come together, and you're also seeing some things that need to continue to get better. The pitching has been a little bit of a roller coaster, but they have an ace in Sam Landry. She's kind of developed more of an attitude in a good way as this season has progressed. She's been really good. Ella Parker's playing hurt. She's got an injury that she's dealing. It's a pain tolerance thing, and that sucks. And she's battling through it. Cassidy Pickering has been on fire. And you're seeing in the new infield, and Nelly at third, and Gabby at short, and in seeing Alan Agbayani at second. They're all coming together. But I still say the biggest key going forward, guys, is to see them get more production from behind the plate. And it's getting there. it's hard to replace an All-American that was the Johnny Bench Player of the Year and had some of the most dramatic moments in Sooner softball history in Kinsey Hansen. And it doesn't help that two players that caught for you are now at Tennessee and at Florida and having great seasons too, right? Imagine losing a quarterback and he goes off to two other SEC schools and he's balling out, right? When your quarterback might be struggling a bit. And that's what Oklahoma's dealing with at the catcher position right now. But they're fun, man. They're fun. It's still new. It's still new to this group. And I really feel like they're starting to put things together. My theory had always been get them early because the time they get into May, they're going to be tough to beat. And, here they are inching towards May. And even though they just lost a series to Alabama, guys, no one had swept Mississippi State all year long. And there's only one team in all of college softball that has swept two teams in the top 10 of the RPI, and that's Oklahoma. They swept South Carolina. They swept Arkansas. So they're in a really good place heading towards May, and I think their best softball is ahead of them.
Well, it's Texas week.
That's
Handicap the series against Texas, and then I don't know if we'll have you back on before they play Florida the week after. So we got fireworks ending the regular season here. What do you make of those two series?
If anything I said about Texas last year, go back and re-cue it. Same team. Same team. There is not much difference. And that's not a knock. I mean, they went to the championship series. Tegan Kavan is back. She's really good in the circle. They've got the same team. Citlali Gutierrez, who spun a gem against the Sooners, is back. Reese Atwood, their talented catcher, is back. I mean, it is wild. It's like what Oklahoma had coming back last year, only they don't have the hardware. And I can't wait for it because it's two teams that it's like strength on strength. And, when Oklahoma came into the SEC, it raised the profile of the SEC softball wise, and it was already the best softball conference in college softball. Texas is up there now, man. That's probably, the second or third best team in the country right now. And I would even argue maybe Texas might deserve to be number one. That pains me to say, but that's how good they've been. So this is going to be a Donnybrook, man. And what's interesting is they're both kind of like neck and neck with each other for the 8, 9, 7 spot in the RPI, which is going to adjust a bit. And you want to be a top 8 seed because you want the road to the World Series to go through your stadium. So, it's a different world because usually I'd come in and like, go sweep them. I love a sweep. I just want to win the series, right? Get that series win. And then, Ted, we're going to Florida for the first time ever. Oklahoma's never played down in Gainesville. Just about every time those two teams have played has been in the College World Series, including the dramatic 2 games they played last year. You know the story. Tim Walton was an assistant at Oklahoma when they won the 2000 national championship, former OU pitcher. Jen Rocha was a longtime Florida pitching coach. She's now our pitching coach. She won 2 national titles at Florida. So and Florida's starting, this time last year was where Florida found another gear. They swept Texas A&M at the end of the season, and then they won the SEC tournament, and then they were a win away from the World Series. So they've had these late season surges before, and now Oklahoma gets to go down there in 2 weeks and deal with that on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. So it's going to be the why we're in the SEC for softball over the next 2 weeks, and I can't wait for it, man. I can't wait for it. It's going to really be fun to see what the pitching matchups look like this weekend against Texas.
We all know what the expectation is for OU softball. In order for this team to get to the level it needs to be at, Plank, to go make a run at a title, what do they need to improve the most?
Runners in scoring position, getting them home, number one. Got to be better at that. I think they're hitting in the 200s in conference play. That's got to be better. 2-out hitting, clutch hitting, it's got to be better. And then I would just say they make a few minor mistakes defensively that end up really costing them. Now, it's been shored up, it seems, right? And it's getting better. But you can't have those, ball tipping off a pitcher's glove, and instead of an easy out, it's rolling into right field. Bunt in front of the plate, and you got a third baseman charging and a pitcher charging and a catcher standing there, and They all look at each other. You know, that happened against Alabama twice. But clean those things up defensively. And then just pitching, keep the ball in the yard, and quit falling. I know I'm giving a laundry list of things, but these are the things that have to get better. Quit falling behind in counts and quit giving up the long ball. I mean, that's just as easy as it comes, I think, in laying it out. Probably more than difficult to execute. But yeah, drive runners in, make defensive plays, and don't give up home runs. I mean, it's. I feel like that Bull Durham baseball is an easy game. You throw the ball, you catch the ball, you hit the ball. But that's where we are right now. And this is a team that just doesn't know. They have Sid Sanders that's been there, Kirsten Deal that's been there, and that's really it, right? So it's a whole new group that's learning this together. And if they can shore up, and if I were to pigeonhole it down, Gabe, if they can shore up those opportunities with runners in scoring position, that's the number one thing. That's, they should have beaten Alabama last Monday. Should have beaten them. You got the bases loaded with less than 2 outs, and your best hitter up, and you don't score at least one run, you're going to lose that game. That's what happened. So I gave you about 4 or 5, but if I were really to say one area, scoring when you have those opportunities, not leaving runners on base, you're going to win a lot of games going forward. And I think they're on pace to do that. Definitely did it this past weekend against Mississippi State.
Are we going to be able to get this series off this weekend? The weather is not looking like it wants to cooperate.
Uh-oh, I haven't looked. Is it bad? I stopped looking. I did not allow myself to look anymore. What's it saying?
Well, I mean,
hold on. Oh, yeah, that's not good. Oh, no.
There's just rain graphics next to all the days games are supposed to be played. I'm coming Sunday. Is it supposed to rain Sunday? Oh, no.
Well, hey, I'll tell you what. We've played we have been affected by the weather so much this year. We had, you go back to the opening series, South Carolina, we had to play a doubleheader on Sunday. When we went to Arkansas, we had to play a doubleheader on Saturday. Just this last weekend against Mississippi State, had to play a doubleheader on Sunday. So I hope that the forecasts clear up, because that's a lot, man. And that taxes a team. That would be a 4th doubleheader that you would have if you have to double up one of those days. Or, all right, hold on, hear me out. It's not the worst thing if you don't end up getting one of these games in, because as it stands right now, the first place team in the SEC, Texas A&M, has played one fewer game, because when they went to Georgia, their Sunday game got rained out and it got canceled. So they've got a half-game lead on everyone right now. So I don't know. Maybe that could be something that works out. But for the fans and for this team, I hope we're able to get all 3 games in. And it looks a little dicey in Gainesville, too, next week. I did look ahead of that. So
I think the answer next week clearly is we need to start the donation push to put a retractable dome.
Love it.
Build.
Love it. Gabe, get on it. Let's get the Love's Dome. It could change.
I'll send an email right now, guys. Last question, Plank. Maybe the most important question. What is the one thing you want for your 50th birthday?
What's the one thing I want? Sleep?
Yes.
No, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's kind of wild.
50's a big one, dude. You gotta have something.
I did not plan on making it past 25, so there's a lot of damage done to my body that I'm having to make up for right now. And I guess it's too late to say for my 50th birthday I want recreational marijuana in Oklahoma. But I guess maybe what I want more than anything else, that's a joke. I guess what I need a new mower, Gabe. I need a new riding mower. I'm tired of changing the belt, Ted. It's snapping
up on it. Finally, it's over. You're giving
over.
up on it.
It's done. I need to get me a new big old 60-inch deck so I can not have as soon as I'm done here, I'm going in to actually work on it. And it makes me feel like I'm cool, but I don't know what I'm doing. So there it is. That's the number one.
Banging wrenches on it. Is that pretty much all you're doing?
That's all, buddy. I know not a damn thing that I'm doing with it, but I sure do feel cool whenever I'm able to say, well, I had to change the belt and the pulleys on it, but we're good now. We're ready to go. Got to go change the oil on it as well.
He's just watching YouTube videos. I got
like
this.
Crazy. Don't look at my search history. It's embarrassing right now.
Blank, you're the best, man. We always appreciate you coming on here, buddy. Happy birthday, dude.
Thanks,
Happy
guys,
birthday.
and appreciate everything you guys do. This is a must listen for me 2 times a week, and I'm grateful for you.
Well, now you're going to have to listen to yourself. Sorry.
There you go.
You're the man. Thanks, Plankster.
See you guys.
If you're as passionate about OU sports as we are, now's your chance to make a difference with One Oklahoma. As the official NIL partner of the University of Oklahoma, One Oklahoma plays a crucial role in keeping the Sooners competitive in the SEC. Your subscription goes beyond the revenue sharing cap, directly helping recruit and support the athletes who become Sooner legends. Plus, you'll get access to exclusive events, behind the scenes content, merch, giveaways, and more. Join the team and be the difference maker for your Sooners. Join today at oneoklahoma.com. And 3 things matter in banking: service, service, and service. And First Fidelity Bank's commitment to exceptional service is more than a promise. It's their foundation. FFB has been by your side for over a century, and they are honored to be a part of your journey. Banking isn't about where you've been, it's about where you are headed. Open an account at an award-winning bank today at ffb.com. At First Fidelity Bank, we go where you go. And go to opolisclothing.com and use promo code TED for 10% off our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear out there. That's opolisclothing.com and use promo code TED. Buttery soft and 10% off. All right, let's finish up with our winners and losers of the week. As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
I'm going with Major League Baseball. I don't know if you saw this. I saw this today. The Speedway Classic. They're going to play a baseball game at Bristol Motor Speedway. Tim McGraw's going to be putting on a concert. I think it's the first sporting event they've had there since 2015, where they had like 160,000 people to watch the Tennessee-Virginia Tech game.
I remember that.
So really cool. It's going to be the Braves. It's going to be the Reds, August 2nd, I believe. And it just, I don't know. It may be one of those things where it's like, what the hell are we doing? You can't even see the guys out on the baseball field. We're so far away. The baseball field doesn't fit. This is ridiculous, but I don't know. The novelty of it seems pretty cool.
Is there anything more American than playing a baseball game at a NASCAR track?
Yes. Play the baseball game while the race is going on around the track.
Yeah, now we're talking the ultimate entertainment.
That would be while Tim McGraw is doing the concert, all at the same time.
He's an ideas guy, ladies and gentlemen.
I've been
This
to
is
a
why he gets
NASCAR
paid the big
race.
bucks right here.
I would say that pretty detrimental to being able to play a baseball game with a NASCAR race going on around as loud as it is. But I don't know. I thought it was a cool idea. We'll see. I guess you never know, but seems awesome.
This leads me to a question.
Mm-hmm.
What venue would you want to see an OU football game played at? Like kind of out of the box venue.
We talked about this previously on the radio show, and like I don't know who the matchup would be, but how awesome would it be to play at Lambeau? Like kind of the mecca.
Wisconsin at Lambeau?
Yeah, something like that.
OU Wisconsin?
I mean, that's like you got to go play at the mecca of football, right? I mean, that is it.
That would be awesome. Would something I've always thought it would be awesome if you played. This is going to sound ridiculous, and it would never happen. But could you imagine if like OU played Georgia at Augusta National?
Huh. Yeah.
There's a lot of grass there, man.
Did you see the guy that sorry, unrelated. Someone hit a shot and the divot came over into the crowd and the guy grabbed it, stuffed it into a chip, like a little chip bag, took it home and planted it, and he's growing it in his windowsill.
That's awesome.
But that would be great. I'm down for that.
It would never happen.
No.
I I would, and I know a lot of OU fans would hate it, as long as it doesn't take away a home game. I would love for OU to play in London or Dublin, one of those games. Like, those week one, like week zero games. Ted, we would have so much fun going and calling those games.
Did you see the TCU announcement?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, huge announcement tomorrow morning. Everyone's like, oh my God, who are we getting in the transfer portal? It's like, we're playing in Ireland. Great. A home game that none of us can attend. Amazing.
Against North Carolina.
That would be
Whoa.
cool. That would be awesome. Um, have you ever heard Coach Stoops tell the story about playing Nebraska when he was at K-State when they played Nebraska in Japan?
I've heard him talk about it, and that would be awesome. Sign me up. I've never been to Japan, and I would love to go to watch OU play a football game. That'd be
They
amazing.
the best part of the story is they all rode on the same plane over there together, both teams. Hilarious.
That's awesome. I would love that. Like OU football in the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
A bunch of fans sitting there and like very calmly, casually taking the game in without beating each other up in the stands. Be awesome.
Be great. Anything else you can think of?
I I
OU
don't
at Texas Motor Speedway would be
OU Texas there. It's just so huge that like Bristol works because the track is small.
right.
I I don't know. I don't know. I think that covers it. Lambeau, I think, for me.
Who do you have as your loser of the week?
Georgia baseball. Because I don't know if you've updated the scores yet, but OU just lost a midweek to Oral Roberts, baby. Here we go. Unleash the hounds in Georgia. It's going to be awesome.
Just as you predicted. Just as you predicted against Dallas Baptist. Why? What is going on? And I know they started a guy that hadn't started a game all year long. I get it. But do we really need to drop the midweek games?
Yes, we
Okay.
do. I don't
You're
know
right.
why. I can't. There's no reasoning to it. I think Skip's been listening to the podcast and he may be purposely throwing the midweek games because he like you get the team all upset, then you're about to head out on the road. I don't know. I don't know where the magic is coming from, but this is a huge series against Georgia. We're both kind of tied 10-8 in the SEC standings. They're playing great baseball. If we go down there and get this series win, massive. And
That
it's basically an automatic at this point.
that would I love your confidence. I
Hey,
love the confidence that them losing to ORU gives you going into the weekend against Georgia. It's
it's all
unmatched. You're the
it's all in the
best.
data. It's all in the data. I
The
don't even think
Tetalytics.
the job's already done for me. All I've got to do is look at the midweek score. I mean, it's done.
We'll see. We'll talk about it on Sunday.
Can't wait.
All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first, Huel Black Edition ready to drink is a meal in a bottle. One bottle contains 35 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, and is low in sugar. Go to huel.com/OKBreakdown and use code OKBreakdown for 15% off your first order plus a free gift. Huel is a perfectly balanced meal designed by nutrition experts and takes the guesswork out of healthy eating. Huel has great flavor options with vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, banana, and iced coffee. I love drinking one in between lunch and dinner. Gets me, it helps me push through. So I'm not eating unhealthy stuff before dinner, Ted. I like it.
Love it.
I've been all over these things. Strawberry banana is my favorite. They're delicious. I also like the iced coffee flavor in the morning because it's got a little caffeine in it. Get it if that's for breakfast, then there you go. Little breakfast in a bottle. How about that? You cannot beat the convenience of cracking one of these Huels open and getting a meal in. Go order this delicious and nutritious product at Huel.com/OKBreakdown and use our code OKBreakdown for 15% off your first order plus a free gift. That's Huel.com, OKBreakdown, and use code OKBreakdown. For my winner of the week, thought about going with Kawhi Leonard. Ooh, man. That was
Every now and then he looks like he is right back at his prime, doesn't he?
he was incredible in game 2 and that win over the Nuggets. 15 of 19 from the field, 39 points, 1 turnover. Turned it over way too much in game 1, and he said, I'm not doing it again. 1 turnover, carried the Clippers to a 105-102 victory, and I've said it before, I'll continue to say it. Hope this series goes 7 games and these teams get nice and worn down, Ted.
No doubt. Yeah, the Claw even made an appearance. I don't know, someone was trying to go up for a basket and he just stood there and palmed it. Give me that damn basketball. This is awesome. That was crazy to watch. That series is going to be a knockdown drag out, it looks like.
It's amazing, dude. I can't wait. I'm legitimately excited to watch every game of that series.
Yep.
I think it's going to be fantastic. But my winner of the week, Oklahoma City Thunder, baby. Up 2-0. It's weird that a 19-point playoff win feels disappointing because of what happened in game 1. It's a weird feeling. It's like, what's wrong with these guys?
Hey,
why aren't they winning by 50?
I called it when I said that game 2 was going to be more competitive.
You nailed it.
So
118-99, definitely more competitive than the 51-point game 1. Shea is struggling, man.
Yeah, what's going on?
I don't know what to say other than he's missing all the shots he normally makes. The mid-range, like, it was legitimately shocking watching him miss as many mid-range shots as he did. He was 10 of 29 from the field. Now, he had 27 points, but normally Shea, the thing about Shea that makes him so great is his efficiency. He's one of the most efficient players in basketball. 27 points on 29 shots is not efficient. And I hate to say it, man, but he's got to switch the shoes back.
It's a shoe issue.
He is worn. He's got his own shoe now, Ted. And the last 2 games, he has worn the new gray version of the shoe. Now, the shoe is named after his son. So there's that. But I think he's got to go back to the butter colorway, the butters.
Yeah.
Just because he hasn't shot it well in the grays, man. I know it's for your kid, but hey, we got a title to go win, Shea. We got to start hitting shots. We got to go back to the butters.
Yeah, hey, whatever shoes he's comfortable in, I'm totally fine with that. Is there anything different about the way they're guarding him or
he's
how
just
the offense is flowing, or is it just off?
Just missing.
Well, I'd rather him be missing and a little bit off in blowout wins. You know,
we took our friends to the game, and I was just like, if he's going to play, and this is him playing poorly. Remember, the guy's going to be the MVP of the league. So for him, he is playing poor. He has played poorly the last 2 games, offensively at least. And I'd rather him get it out against Memphis than the Clippers or this be happening against the Clippers or Nuggets next round.
right.
Just get all your misses out now, Shea. It's all good. I'm not worried about it.
I'm confident he'll be just fine. Just a little hiccup here, but we don't want it to creep in and be something that all of a sudden he's thinking about. It's going to be just fine. He's going to go for probably 52 in game 3.
I thought Chet was awesome. I thought he adjusted the physicality. I thought he just had more juice, man. Just looked more comfortable, more confident. I really liked the way he played in game 2. I'm in love with Alex Caruso. The dude just comes in and messes everything up for the other team. He's everywhere, man. He is an absolute pest and he just gets the people going. Like he's telling the crowd to come on, like he forced a jump ball and was just like screaming. Just love that guy.
Energy, effort. No, I totally agree with you. Um, I I thought Jalen Williams was better. I liked what
He
I saw from him.
in a series that has Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Ja Morant, in my opinion, he has undoubtedly been the best player on the floor through 2 games. Really good on the defensive end, and then he's just played with a ton of confidence offensively. So I think that's really, really encouraging because one of the big questions coming into the playoffs when you reflect the last year is, hey, can Jalen Williams take it up a level in the playoffs? And he looks like he's taking it up a level, Ted, which is very, very encouraging. Once Shea gets back to being Shea, they have destroyed the Grizzlies 2 games in a row with Shea not playing well.
Yeah, it goes back to the defense you've been talking. They've made life very difficult for Morant.
Yeah. Just got a lot of guys they can throw at him.
Mm-hmm.
One question. Do we want this to be a sweep? Because Clippers Nuggets is probably going to go at the very least 6, right? Probably going 7. The way those 2 teams are battling. Do we want them to have that long off?
Are you requesting a gentleman's sweep?
I don't think so. I think I'd prefer the sweep. I'm just asking. I'm just starting the conversation.
Um, I hear what you're saying.
Would we rather them just log together as a team one more playoff game, feel everything that comes with it before they got to go play a legit contender, you know?
Yeah, I feel like this comes up every year in the playoffs whenever it comes up because it feels like when teams sweep, another series goes 6 or 7. The team that swept looks a little rusty whenever the series first starts, and the other team looks a little more battle hardened. So you may be onto something.
It's just a thought.
Just a thought.
I'm still on team sweep, but a gentleman's sweep would not make me super upset. We'd get another home game at least. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So
I'm okay with it. If, I'm okay if they drop one, but the most important thing for me is Shea gets his game back. So
just got to get the mid-range rhythm back. He'll be fine. I'm not worried about it.
He goes and buries him with 2 games over 50 points on the road in Memphis for the sweep. I'm fine with that. Like that's most important that he's playing his best.
Our bench is just so much better than their bench.
Yeah.
It's just it. This series is really making me appreciate the depth of this team because Memphis just has no one coming off the bench.
Nope.
So, loser of the week. Thought about going with Arkansas football players. This is very interesting. Athletic director at Arkansas, Hunter Yurachek, announced the school will be going after NIL buyouts for guys that leave during their current NIL contracts. This comes one day after Nico Iamaleava's brother, Madden, announced he will be leaving Arkansas after 4 months there and going to UCLA. He signed a 1-year deal with Arkansas's collective, Arkansas Edge. And it sounds like Arkansas is going to be coming for some of that money. Very interesting, Ted. It was only a matter of time, man. I think some of this stuff has happened kind of behind closed doors, but Arkansas has has come out and said, we're going to do this and we're going to do it very publicly.
There's some well-known business people that donate to Arkansas's collective, right? And probably don't like seeing that go down the way. And
Do you
let's be
think
honest,
Tyson and Walmart have any lawyers available?
perhaps they do. And I would also say that if you asked around college football behind closed doors, everybody's probably mad that this type of stuff has happened, but no one's really had the appetite to pursue it because it looks bad, right? That you're chasing down guys for money. The worry is, well, you don't want to go there because they're going to try and come get money back from you if you decide it's not for you and you want to go somewhere else. But I feel like the appetite has grown around recent developments, and perhaps with the house settlement stuff being right around the corner, like maybe maybe it wouldn't be able to be used as against you as much. I don't know, but I'm sure that everyone is cheering this from the sidelines.
Can you imagine if Madden Iamaleva's NIL earnings at UCLA, he has to send them to Arkansas?
After he pays that California tax on them.
Of course. California's getting their piece. If there's one thing about that state, they're getting their piece.
That's right.
Just a very interesting situation to monitor. And I think, hey, Nico left Tennessee. Was an agreement signed there before he left to UCLA for this season? It seems like, because everyone talks about what he was slated to make. So it seems like that was a multi-year agreement in place. Does Tennessee look at that and go, this is interesting. Maybe we should pursue some of that. I don't know, but I think
I know this, like if that actually goes down and Arkansas is successful, like that will be the single like biggest deterrent that we've seen since the transfer portal window stuff has started to keep guys from leaving, because they're like, I already got like 3 paychecks, and who knows how they've allocated that money since they got it. But that changes things pretty quickly.
there is, I've seen some of these deals. There is what I would call some buyout language in them. And it is only a matter of time. And maybe it happens with this Arkansas situation. But I think a lot of these athletic programs, a lot of these athletic departments, these ADs, these administrators, I think they've had enough. I think they're going to start suing kids.
Yep.
I do.
And I understand it. I mean, I think that
Breach contract. I mean, it happens in the real world all the time.
Yeah. And here's the other part. Like, even if let's say that Arkansas goes through with this and Madden Iamaleava wins the case, he still has to pay his attorneys and get representation and go through that whole mess. Like, if I'm anywhere around that and I'm in college football, I'm saying, man, I ain't going through that mess. I guess I'll just park my butt right here and play the rest of my contract out.
My brother works at, I believe, what is the most financially secure law firm in the world. I know what his hourly rate is.
Yeah.
I do not want that. I do not want to have to pay that.
No,
Ever.
it ain't cheap.
So Good luck to those Arkansas players. We'll see how it goes for them.
Yeah, because we all know that the old the Walmart and Tyson attorneys are on. Uh, you know, they're already set up. It don't matter to them. They'll play the long game on you.
Oh, you wanna string this out? Go ahead, rack up those legal fees. We got all day, buddy.
Here's the semi truck with all the documents that you need to go through are arriving at your office today.
Oh boy. That it is gonna be really interesting to see how that shakes out though.
Yeah,
There are
that's gonna be
some college football players are starting to see some things that are becoming serious deterrents. The way that everyone essentially reacted to the Nico situation and how that went down, I think that's made a lot of guys go, do I really want to do that? The whole situation. And then now this, it's like, hey, they may come after my money if I leave. Schools are starting to stand up for themselves a little bit.
Yep. It's
Interesting.
wild, and again, I think that as soon as something like this happens and kind of sets the precedent for everyone else, I mean, the it's taken a while, but it appears that finally the real world is finally arriving. For this whole Wild West situation that we've been watching.
Turns out you can't just do whatever you want.
No.
How about that? My loser of the week, though, the New York Knicks. Because, Ted, the Detroit Pistons win game 2 at Madison Square Garden, beat the Knicks 194. It is the Detroit Pistons' first playoff win since May 26th of 2008.
What was it? 15 straight losses? Is that what it was?
They had lost 15 straight playoff games until now. The streak is over because the New York Knicks got beat in Madison Square Garden by the Pistons. You never want to be the team where the streak ends. That's not a good feeling.
No, you do not want to be the team where the streak ends. The end of that game was wild. I thought Thibodeau was going to be having a heart attack on the sideline after some of those exchanges, and he looked, admittedly, fairly calm and collective over there.
Cade Cunningham was awesome. We talked about it last episode. Like he needed to be better for them. No one from the Knicks could stay in front of him. He blew by Nick after Nick after Nick. No one could stay in front of him. Finishing all kinds of different ways in the paint. Like no one could keep him out of the paint. No one could keep him away from the rim. Dude, it was really, really fun to watch.
Yeah.
He was just flying in transition, man. It was one of those games where you go, is Cade Cunningham gonna be a Hall of Famer? Like that was I kind of had to
play real bad, and didn't play well in game 1, right?
No, he did not.
Right.
But he's been very good for him this season. He's had a breakout year, and 33 and 12 in this game. He was the best player on the floor, man. He was fantastic, and
Schroeder looked good too. He had some big minutes.
Massive three there with about a minute to go. Biggest shot of the game. And Knicks, they got a couple good looks at the end of the game, just didn't fall. But I thought it was really impressive that Detroit, remember, they had like an 8-point lead going into the fourth quarter of game 1, and they got steamrolled in the fourth. I think it was the exact same thing. I think they had an 8-point lead going into the fourth quarter of this game, and they finished the job. And other than, like, it feels like through the 2 games, like Detroit has undoubtedly been the better team in the series.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because both of those games were at MSG. So we'll see what it looks like in Detroit, but I've been pretty impressed. Other than one really bad fourth quarter in game 1, like the Pistons have been They've been really solid. And they've been really fun to watch.
Yeah. I don't know. Watching Cunningham is, I mean, that's interesting. The Knicks are, I really enjoy watching Brunson. He's fun. I like the way he competes. So I don't know. Looks like it's going to be a good series though. Sign me up for all the good series. That's what I want to see.
I need your thought on something.
Yeah.
What if you're the Knicks? You're playing at Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
It's the playoffs. Why are you wearing those like navy jerseys?
I don't know.
They don't even match the court.
You know how I feel whenever you have an iconic uniform and you're playing in a big game, you wear the iconic uniform. Always.
If you want to wear blue at home, wear your awesome classic road blues.
Don't overthink it.
They're amazing. My suggestion, you're at home, wear your iconic white uniform that everyone knows and everyone loves.
Yeah, whenever you tune in to watch the game and, oh, this one's in New York, you see the logo, you see the court. It's like, hang on. Why is Detroit in the white? Like, it throws you off because their white is, I mean, I'm looking at the highlights as they play right now. It was fairly similar to what the Knicks wear. I mean, it's confusing. You don't want to confuse people.
Just, you have an iconic jersey. Just wear it.
That's it.
What are we doing? Also, Karl Anthony Towns, you can't score 10 points, buddy. Getting paid too much money for that. Come on. What are we doing?
Yes.
Also, Cam Payne was really good for the Knicks in game 1, and he played like 4 minutes in game 2. I don't know what happened there. Very Tom Thibodeau on that one. Who knows? Game 3, Thursday night. Should be fun.
Sign me up.
I want to watch more Cade Cunningham after that, man. That was fun. Birthday shout-outs. Happy first birthday to Bobby Bug.
Happy 34th birthday to Lauren Loloy.
Yeah, that seems right. Loloi.
Loloy.
I think you covered it, and with a couple, you got it in the attempts. You got it.
All right.
We also have a happy 8th birthday to Laura Lee. Laura Lee. Lorelei. Laura Lee.
What? How's the last name spelled?
No. First name. Lorelei. Laura Lee.
Yeah.
Lorelei. Northcutt. L Northcutt. Happy 8th birthday. We tried, I promised. And a very special one, Ted. Happy 2nd birthday to Eli Ikard.
All right.
Yeah, big dog's turning 2. Let's go.
Awesome. What a milestone. Fantastic.
On that note, episode 521 in the books. We'll have a new podcast that'll drop on Sunday. Just a reminder, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, go check out our website, okbreakdown.com. Hope you all have a great rest of your week. Have an awesome weekend. Until next time, we appreciate you all for listening. Do what you always do, Oklahoma. Take care of each other.
Boom.